Hello, everybody. Dr. Laura Ricci here. Welcome. Welcome. We are so excited about this class. This is our Mindful Mommy class. We're talking about how to stay calm, how to manage emotions during these chaotic times. I'm going to do a quick technology check. Make sure that you can hear and see me okay. It looks like you can. We're so glad that you're joining us here on Zoom and on Facebook. And I have a very special guest for you to meet who is co-teaching this class with me tonight. So this is my sweet dear friend, Michelle. Michelle's incredible. She lives in the Virginia, DC area. She's actually an extremely talented photographer. If you follow me on social media or on Instagram, you've actually seen some of her photos because she was so kind to take some pictures of me. I was blessed to go and visit her in Virginia before COVID hit in early March. And so we have been friends for a long time. We actually met on the online space. I was a speaker for the Chronic Lyme Disease Summit, and that's how we connected. But she has an amazing, incredible story. She is a wonderful photographer. She's a mama of two boys, one with special needs, and one women's health coach. And I love to talk about functional nutrition and lifestyle and things that we can do to empower ourselves, essential oils, all these tips. I wanted to bring in a mommy for you that is in the field that has been there to give you some really, really useful tips. So she's going to share some of her top tips with you. I'm going to share a little bit about some tips as well with lifestyle. And we'll talk a little bit about some things to support you on this journey because we know this is an interesting time. So Michelle, welcome. Thank you for doing this class. This is actually all your idea.
I'm
And
so
we're so glad
excited.
that you brought us together. Yeah.
I love it. Two heads are always better than one. Can you guys hear me okay? Is that okay? Good, good. Well, thank you so much for putting this together. I love to chat and connect with people anyway, but this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, in large part because this is part of how oils came into my life. But before I go back there, I think I should probably start. Do you remember that day when I probably sent you like a 10-minute boxer on the verge of tears right at the beginning of COVID-19? And I was like, Laura, you don't have to fix this, but you asked how we're doing. And this is very heavy right now. You remember?
I
It was
remember.
it was tough. It was tough. So that day, we just happened to get just some really bad news and a situation that was really tough and a lot of changes and a lot of having to shift and just expectations. And I have two boys, as Laura says, age 5 and age 7. And they're very, very busy, very active. And we don't really have a yard with a fence and that sort of thing. So it's a little bit challenging, a little bit tricky. Plus, Lyme here is really bad. So we do go outside, but we ride bikes and we go for walks. And when the pool's open, we love the pool. And we have a sensory space and a therapy space upstairs. So we try to use that. But as far as going anywhere, we're kind of, shut down like a lot of you. Or your mom is shut down. Well, you can send a message in there if you like. Tell us, have you been shut down? Maybe like on a scale of what, like 1 to 10, 10 being like really awful, having to isolate for your personality. Yeah, feel free to share. Yeah, Jackie says 9. It's rough. It's rough. I was probably close to that. Like going from having someone here, having fun, and my whole world and everything changing so fast. It's just really hard to wrap my head around all of that. And so even with the oils, it just took a while. So that's why we're going to share, some tips and some tricks, some strategies to move from, it's okay to feel heavy. We just don't want to get stuck in that place. It's okay to be real and to be raw and to say, this really sucks. Like, this is really not fair. This is so much out of my control. And I'm upset or I'm angry or I'm frustrated or I just don't know what to do. That's okay. We just don't want to get stuck there. We just don't want to get stuck. So these things that we're going to share, we're going to start really kind of with that question of what does it mean to be a mindful mommy? We're like, it's kind of like a little bit of a buzzword. And for me, I take it from, have you guys, anyone heard of mindful mommy? If you have, you can raise your hand if you like. Let's see who's raising their hand. Have you heard of that? So I kind of take an approach where I think of mindfulness. Yes. Oh, good, Nikki. Good, good. From the perspective of a conscious parent. And conscious parenting is a shift away from, she just goes out to the mail. She says, oh man, Oh yeah, you got to be super careful with all those situations. Yep, you know what's right for your body and you do what's right for you. So for the conscious parent paradigm, we're shifting away from that power structure to a connection and a bond with our kids, being mindful of them, of their needs, and being able to reflect on our own emotions and counting it a privilege to steward them in their journey to learn to manage their own emotions. And a lot of that comes back to the role modeling that we do in managing our own emotions. So that's where really everything kind of starts inward with that inward reflection. And you probably thought like, okay, mindfulness, what does that mean? Or becoming aware, becoming reflective, tuning in. That's my favorite word. It's tuning into where we're at. So that's where I wanted to start. There's a shift of conscious parenting versus the mindful parent or the mindful mommy. And mindfulness is a whole nother concept, which is another layer to the mindful mom. When you make a conscious effort to be a mindful mom, to really pull in mindfulness. And Laura's going to talk a lot about that a little bit later when we talk about some specific techniques. Are you guys ready to dive in with our very first strategy? Okay, good. So our very first strategy to help us manage our emotions, we want to thrive, not just survive in these chaotic times. And I feel like this is really interesting to come from feeling just like you, like a 9, feeling like a 9 at the beginning of this, like at the end of, really it's the beginning of COVID-19, but I was already at the end of like my emotional reserve. And then coming to the other end and saying, okay, I feel like I'm closer to like a 2 or a 3, just feel a lot more settled over time. But it didn't happen overnight, and there was no magic formula and no magic pill. But I do wish I had something like this to kind of like give me a framework of like, what do I do? So if you're still kind of feeling like that, that's totally okay and it's normal. But hopefully this will empower you to make some really good choices for you or adjust it as it resonates with you. So our very first thing is really tuning into our own triggers, tuning into those things that, like for me, I get really upset when I'm in the kitchen and my kids are right under my feet and I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, I can't focus. That's a trigger for me, And so like before I'm even like pulling out the raw meat or the, whatever that can be really messy and gross, or the eggs that could make a big mess, or turning on the stove, just being really mindful and saying, hey guys, I'm in the kitchen, can you do this while I'm in the kitchen? Just being proactive, tuning in, that's a trigger. Or being aware of our kids' triggers, because that's another problem. Like at our house, I remember the time when every morning getting dressed for my little guy, that was a trigger. Do you guys know your kids' triggers? Anybody want to share one? So that was one. Another trigger is like transition triggers, going from something that they really love to do to something that they really hate to do. So we call it high preference versus a low preference activity. And that would be a trigger. And it would be meltdowns, it would just screaming, rage, running off, slamming doors. It's really hard. Heather says switching from one activity to another. Very, very common, especially when you get in those like toddler and preschool stages. They're just having a hard time. Jackie says, my kids are in their 40s. When they were little, triggered by me being on the phone. Oh, see, even like, so what happens when you're in COVID-19, you're shut down and you can't have a conversation because your kids are around all the time, right? Like, this is so hard. Sometimes my husband's here, I'm like going in the car to have a conversation with someone, because it's the only place I can go. So I've definitely done that. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. And then, an adult son on the spectrum. Okay, he still lives at home and you're still working on those. You know what? I have triggers too. I have transition triggers too. I set timers on my phone to kind of remind me, it's going to be time to get ready for bed. It's going to be time to, whatever, because I don't like shifting out of one mode into another mode. It can be frustrating for me even just to switch in my head because I'm being really productive. And so for kids, they're thinking they're productive because they're playing and that's their job right now. So anyway, so being mindful of your own triggers And the second thing is really looking at our deficits. So what are our triggers? And then what are the deficits? And Laura talks about this like a gauge, where you're going from empty to full, how's it going in your tank? So what about your sleep? Is there a deficit in your sleep? Well, that might cue you into why you're feeling so emotional. Or is there a deficit in good, nutritious food? Or in adult conversation? Hello, COVID-19, like what are those deficits? And so being mindful of, okay, I know what my triggers are. I know what really upsets me. And oh my goodness, today's a day I did not sleep well. And that really, and actually can help your relationships when you can actually talk about that with the people in your home that you love. And I can sometimes talk to my kids about that sort of thing. Mommy's really, really tired right now. Like I'm just really tired, and they kind of understand. Sometimes they do. So that is really your first strategy, just being mindful as a mom. Where are your triggers? Where are your kids' triggers? Even where your deficits, even where their deficits. Did they eat well? Did they sleep well? Did they get enough sunshine? Do they have any playtime? They have connections with their friends? What can we do to help get to the root of the problem and not just using this kind of power approach to parenting to address behaviors, but really to get underneath it all and to look for the root of the problem and just really tuning in and being mindful. So that's our very first strategy, triggers and deficits, being mindful of those. The second one is to give yourself permission to take a break. That sounds like really simple, but it's so funny how many mamas are out there like, I don't think I sat down today. Like maybe I went to the bathroom once and that might be the only time I sat down. Like you just literally going. But sometimes you have to give yourself permission to take a break. And when I take a break, I have some kind of like mitigation strategies. So a way to build resolve around, remember we're talking about triggers. So a way to build resolve around those triggers, like I know bedtime's going to be a trigger. So what tools do I have, to address that? And especially when it's time to give myself a break, what can I do in that time to hit the reset button, like as quick as I can and being really mindful. So I use my oils. You know what? I got to grab it really quick. I use my oils and I have them strategically placed. Usually I have them in my pocket because I have a vest that's on the floor right there. And I almost always have some oils right in my pocket. You guys want to share? What's your favorite oil to carry? Like you only have one that you can carry with you all day. Which one are you going to carry? Adaptive. Oh, so good. Love that one. That's like the jack of all trades oil, I think. It's like the total go-to. What else? Balance. Oh, Whitney, that's a really good one. What else do you like? Frank. Hey. Oh, this is Neroli, but I have Frank in here too. Oh, adaptive. I have a bunch. Oh, forgive. That's a good one too. Really good. Love it. Good job, guys. So I usually have some oils in my pocket, right? So I can take a break, and whether that's like literally lavender all the way, good. That's such a good oil. In the very beginning, I would actually go to the closet and close the door, and I had a secret stash of dark chocolate. No lie, gonna tell the truth. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it real here. And whatever else I needed. I mean, there were times that I cried in there, or maybe had tissues in there. Sometimes I phone a friend, but I would just take that time for me. And I love the oils, and that's a really, really good strategy. And right there, even just taking it in, you guys know how to use your oils. So some of you might do a palm inhale right out of the bottle, or you might have a roller. Oh, who said stash of chocolate? I saw that very briefly. Who said that? Was that Nikki? I know your stash of chocolate is real. That's so true. She was over here recently. And I don't share with my kids. That's the one thing. I'll share everything else. Like, can I have chocolate? And I'm like, nope, I love you, but no. Here's a ginger drop. Love you. It's good for your tummy. So there you go. I have neroli. So you can use it any way you want, but just on your hands and a deep, deep, deep breath, deep belly breath. Oh my goodness. And even just taking as much time as you need. Cheer is such a good one. I went through a whole bottle of cheer in 1 week. I kid you not. Very good. Oh, there you go. Sneaking in some food there. Whatever is right for you, you have to tune in and be mindful. What is that thing that's going to help you? So, of course, I make sure that my kids are safe. When they were itty bitty, of course, they were in the high chair, or, I have baby monitors up. I don't just escape for like hours on end and come back and try to be a parent. So please don't take that out of context. But I do have to give myself permission to take a break and just take a few minutes. A couple other things, Laura, if you want to talk about guided imagery, because I was thinking this is the perfect place to just, if you want to just, it can be a tool in your toolbox that you use when you need it, or it can be something that you use every day. Maybe some quick tips on guided imagery for mindfulness sake.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's so important to come back to the present moment at all times. And so many times, and that can look different for everybody, right? That could be a gratitude practice, a prayer practice, a meditation practice. It could be just taking a few deep breaths. What I recommend to people, and I love to pair it with an essential oil. So since a lot of you have that, you can rub it on your hands like Michelle was doing, and then just take some big, nice palm inhales and do a couple deep breaths there. If you can make the exhalation longer than the inhalation, and you just start to bring some awareness and really look at slowing down the breathing or even slowing down activities. So how to sneak this into your day as a busy mama could be when you're folding the laundry, fold the laundry. Just be present. Notice how it feels. Is it warm? Does it feel good? Can we come back to some gratitude practice around that? I'm so grateful that we have a washing machine. I'm so grateful that we have a working dryer. When we're stirring the pot, stir the pot, right? When we're in the shower, be in the shower. And as you slow down those daily activities, what you start to notice is you really can take in the world with more sensations. Like, how many times are we just like running in, trying to shower so fast? And this may be hard with younger kids, with little kids. So take this all with a grain of salt and implement it where you can. But just having those moments of truly being present. We know, especially little kids, it goes by so fast. They're going to get bigger so fast soon. They're not going to want cuddles with you anymore, whatever that looks like. So really being grateful for those times in that moment and coming back to the present moment. But something that I really love to do is called heart math. And I can take you through a really quick little round of it because it's so powerful. It's something that my mentor, Dr. Rita Marie Lascalzo, taught me. But if you're in a safe place now, if you're not driving, don't do this while you're driving, but feel grounded, put your feet on the floor. You can actually put your hands over your heart. That actually helps to bring some awareness over the heart. And you can close your eyes. And I want you to just take a deep breath in, a big letting go breath out. Deep breath in, big letting go breath out. And I want you to imagine you're in your happy place. So this could be a real place that you've been to. This could be an imaginary place that you've been to. For me, I love to go to the beach. You may like to go to the mountains, wherever that is. And I want you just to visualize it and take it in as much detail as if you were standing there right now. Like feeling the wind on your skin, maybe digging your toes down into the sand, feeling the sunlight, all of that in as much detail as possible. And then from this place, I want you to think of a time where you felt such deep gratitude, appreciation, and joy. Just remember that moment. That could be holding your newborn baby for the first time. That could be an amazing day that you spent with a partner, spouse, a loved one, a fur baby, your animals. Just really breathe in deep again, holding that space of gratitude, appreciation, and joy. We're going to take another deep breath in from here. Big letting go breath out. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Do you feel different? And it doesn't take very long. They're fast. They're little mini vacations. So if you can fit this in your day, and it can take 30 seconds to a minute, that can change your parasympathetic nervous system. That can help to calm it down. And if you do this first thing in the morning when you get up, before you eat your meals, so before you eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, And then before you go to bed, it just puts you in that rest and digest mode. You're going to notice that you're going to have better digestion. You're going to be feeling better. You just start your day off on a better foot. What's so interesting is fear and gratitude can't live in the same place, in the same state. So the more that we come back to that place, it's really powerful. And if you can ground it in and anchor it in with that sense of smell, with the essential oils, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I'll talk a little bit more in depth about emotions and essential oils, but that's such a powerful tool to have. So when you're feeling stressed and maybe you're washing the dishes, just enjoy the bubbles, enjoy the warm water, maybe put extra bubbles in there for you. I love that On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. And the more that we can stay in that space, because I think especially we're like on to the next thing and we're multitasking and we're doing a ton of things and we're like spinning plates. And the research actually shows us that multitasking isn't super productive, that we really do a better job when we're just focused on one thing at a time versus jumping around and doing everything everywhere. Now, I will say as a mommy, you are doing a bunch of things, right, at the same time. So we do the best that we can with this. And we show ourselves a lot of grace, especially during this time, because I tell my health coaching clients, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. COVID is an interesting time where you are doing everything, right? You're homeschooling your kids, you're trying to do the laundry, you're trying to help with homework, you're also trying to cook dinner and work your own job. So know that we're all experiencing this for the first time. First time we have experience with anything, it's going to be challenging. But I just want to encourage you to do the very best that you can and come back to this place of self-worth and worthiness. And if you take one thing away from this class, I just want to share that you are enough. You are doing enough. You are doing the very, very best that you can during this situation, and to start stepping into your worthiness. And the interesting thing about worthiness is the only difference between people that have self-worthiness and those that do not are that they believe they are worthy. So on a deeper level, I just want you to start stepping into that belief that you are worthy, that you are doing a good job, that even though it feels like so many things are going on, you know what? Your kids are going to remember you smiling with them, you laughing with them, you having dance breaks in your home. And the more that we can think about, not focusing on the big pile of dirty laundry or the pile of dirty dishes, but cultivating that joy in this moment can be really powerful for both you and for them, because they're going to feed off your energy too with all of that. Kids are very good at internalizing what's happening with that around them too. So just step into your worthiness that you're doing enough. And we're super proud of you mamas, because man, these challenges come and I feel like they're here to strengthen us. And this is all going to make us stronger. In that way, we're all coming together. And that's why I love this space that we hold together for all of you.
Oh, that's all really good. Very good. And I love how, this practice that we do, we get to model that with our kids, and we actually get to guide them and teach them that they can use these techniques as well. So one of the things that we've just started doing with our kiddos along the same lines of taking a break, we try not to, say things like, blah, 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 or you're going to timeout, that kind of thing. But when our kids get emotional, sometimes, we do say things like, hey, if you want to take some time, away, then you can come back down when you feel better, and that's okay. Like, because sometimes it is like, it's really loud and I need to create a little boundary for me too. Like, I'm not saying you can't have emotions. It's just, there is no other solution right now, but you just need to work through your own emotion. And I'm here to chat or whatever. But one of the things that helps our eldest, who gets into more of that fight or flight, is, and we learned this from our therapist, she says, Lewis, what's one thing you can see right now? He answers, what's one thing you can feel right now? Goes, feel something. What's one thing you can hear right now? What's one thing you could taste right now? What's one thing you can smell right now? And we always have the oils and some diffusing, So even for kids, you can make this really easy for them, like a really simple mindfulness. It's almost like a game, and what it is, and the more I learn about this, it's that sensory experience. And then if you compare it, for example, with an oil, I learned this from my friend who does havening. It's a pleasant distraction. Good, sensory integration. It's the two together. So it's that mindfulness piece, and that we tell our kids, hey, 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 hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's take your brain on another trip. Let's go somewhere else. Where can we go? Because those thoughts aren't helping. Those thoughts aren't helping. It's usually thoughts of, it's just not fair. I'm like, wait. Let's take our brain somewhere else. And maybe we might coach or prompt, like we're talking about, what can you smell right now? What can you see right now? What did you get to eat today? Even just something happy, just to shift, from that thing that's triggering them so much into something that's a pleasant distraction, and you can hand the oils to them. And we just had this a couple days ago. We read a dead end with him with some kind of thing that he was fixated on. And there was no real easy solution except for, it's a little deal, and just let it go, Lewis, let it go. Please let it go. He just couldn't. But you know what? I had my hope in my pocket. Funny, huh? Had hope in my pocket. He wasn't even paying attention to me, and I just start rubbing on the back of his neck. Now, he loves the oil, so I'm not violating his personal space by doing this. He loves them. I just start rolling it, and next thing you know, he has totally forgotten what we were talking about, what he was upset about. It just works. It just works. So they can take a break, and this is an easy way to add a little break in for your little ones. They're maybe bigger, and you can just have them go up to their room for a little while or sit somewhere. Even in the classroom, little Lewis got to that place where he would just kind of go off to the imagination station and gather himself and come back, and his teachers were okay with that. So have your oils on hand, have those go-to things, for yourself. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to let your little ones take a break, and encourage them in a way to make their break work for them. All right. Now we have our very last, there's so many strategies, but this class, we shouldn't take forever with it. But the main last third strategy is to schedule for your family's time, to have a schedule, create a schedule. This might not float everybody's boat, but what I would say, I encourage you to try it. Try it. If it doesn't work, you can just say it doesn't work. If it does work, hey, there's another tool in your tool belt when things get really crazy. So like Laura says, I was homeschooling. I went from homeschooling 3 days a week to, after COVID-19, had to homeschool 5 days a week. And it's not my curriculum. I don't really care for it. Not my format, not the way I like to turn anything in. It was not a very pleasant experience. Let's just say that. I'm an educator by trade. I'm very passionate about education, but I'm not super in love with that modality of what they were requiring. So for me, it wasn't a super easy, pleasant experience. It could have been, but it just wasn't. Then my husband was still working, and he gets up at 4 because we live in DC. He's out the door at around 4:25 in the morning. He was usually home around 3:30 to 4 in the afternoon, but by then I'd finished all the homeschool stuff. When our therapist came, she said, Michelle, you have to create a schedule. We have to create some structure for you and for your family. She saw me. That's the day I called Laura, she saw me about to come apart at the seams, seriously. And so we sat down and we charted it out. When's breakfast, and when is school starting, and when is snack, and when is lunch, and when is playtime, recess. And it follows kind of like the school schedule. So it kind of gives them a sense of normalcy and knowing what to expect. And that's really helpful. And that also helps me, because then I have those quiet time, which is the afternoon period. My kids are 5 and 7, so they can go to 2 different rooms. And we were just like, luck of the draw, one, where do you want to go to play today? Where do you want to go? And then we just go and disperse. The good thing about that, just a side tip, is then when they come back together, they play a lot better together than if they're together all the time. So this helped boost their creativity and their ingenuity and their ability just to build our sorts of amazing stuff. And that's what we did. So they had their quiet time, and that's when I would work. And that is I had to have 2 hours of focus work, and I have some great apps to help me stay on target. And that was just huge for us. Now that COVID-19 is kind of shifted, my husband had then come back home, and so he could take part of the day or some days, and I could take part of the day or some days. So that really started to help like ease some of the burden, like the weight and the responsibility of all of it. I hate to say the word burden, but it was really heavy, you guys. It was really heavy in the very beginning. And then now that we're done with their way of doing school, we took a week off and I miss it. Not their way of doing school, but I miss that time with the kids. Like I feel like, remember I were talking about a 9 at the beginning? I was just like, I don't have any time to myself. And now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do get frustrated sometimes, but I'm like, I want to keep doing this, but I want to do it on my terms. So hold on, we got a comment here. We say 30 minutes left of the class. Okay, perfect. All right, this is my last tip and about the schedule. We'll go through. So now that we have school in our schedule, we start with movement in the morning. We start with movement, high energy. For us, we love Hillsong Kids. It's really fun and vivacious music. And we have different sections. So we have a circuit, a 3-point circuit. We do donkey kicks, we do burpees, we do inchworms, and they spin in the egg and they jump on a trampoline, and we just take turns and go and go and go for a minute. So altogether, it's about 10 minutes of movement. So we're getting movement in the morning, and then we have a sensory experience with the oils. So these are some of my favorites, you guys. I mean, I love the adult line, but come on now. This kids line, if you haven't tried it, it's amazing. It's so good. I like want to steal it from the kids. Isn't that terrible? So we sit on the floor, we stretch, and we do our little straddles. And I tell them, paint with oils. You know, they do whatever they want, paint wherever you want. So they paint their arms, they paint their toes. And while they're doing that, they're stretching their body. Paint your neighbor, you know, we just pass them around. And that's really it. We have a sensory experience. So at the end of that, we do our deep breathing, and then we sit and we read together. We have a little devotional that we do. You guys, they are begging me to sit down. They're begging me to sit down. My 5-year-old and my 7-year-old, they're begging me to sit, which never happens, you know, like they're pretty much just like, spiders climbing up the wall. So all that to say, we really love to start now with that movement and with the sensory experience. And that helps them too, just with that inner regulation and helping themselves come into not being triggered so much and being a lot more in control of their emotions and just getting on top of what's going on. So I would say that's been really, really super helpful. My favorite of all the oils, Adaptive and probably Serenity for the mamas. If you're struggling in this area, get yourself some Serenity in your life. Get yourself some Adaptive. You got kiddos or you work with kids, highly recommend this line. So that's it. I'm wrapping that up. That's what I have for you guys. Do you remember that first strategy was know your triggers and the deficits? The second one is it's okay to take a break. And the last one is schedule time for your family. That's it. That's what I got. I'll pass it back off.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Michelle. Those were such great tips. I've got a few more tips for you. We'll talk a little bit about the emotions and the essential oils and share a little bit about how to get the oils if you're new, because we're talking about them a lot here, and then open it up for Q&A for you too, because we want to be respectful of your time with all of that. And the Adaptive app is really amazing. It's meant to go with the Adaptive essential oil. I think they're still working out a few kinks with the Adaptive app. I've been playing with it and I really do enjoy it. So if you like guided meditation or imagery or having somebody kind of walk you through it, I think it's a really great tool and something to check out. And a few other tools that I was going to share for the mommies, kind of from a women's health, functional nutrition perspective, is drink your water. It sounds so simple, but how many times do we forget that? And that can be a cause of headaches, of fatigue, of just feeling off, even noticing if you're having dry skin or hair or nails. And so put a citrus oil in your water, put something like wild orange, tangerine, grapefruit. This helps with limonene. This is high in antioxidants. And if you're thirsty, you're dehydrated. So maybe get in the habit of this for your kids too. Everybody can have their water cup or their sippy cup and everybody to drink their water together, but have that on hand and take care of you, because hydration is so, so, so important. And you would be shocked how just drinking water throughout the day can have an impact in your mood and make you feel better. I love something that I learned from Brene Brown, and it was checking in with your family members and letting them know where's your percentage at, right? Like, where's your fuel gauge? Are you at 80%? Are you pretty good? Okay, if you have a spouse or partner, somebody Can they make up that 20 for you? Are there days when you're at 20 and they're at 80 and they can kind of help out? So having that communication is really important. Asking for and having a break is really important. Michelle actually talked about having a mommy timeout, a timeout for mommies. Mommies need timeouts too. I loved that wording. I'd heard about something similar from Dr. Sarah Gottfried. She has actually a plastic tiara that she pulls out. She calls it tiara time. And so when she puts her tiara on, that means it is a mommy timeout, right? And mommy's going to have 10 or 15 minutes to go and do some deep breathing or do what she needs to do. So unless it's an emergency or something's on fire, we don't bother mommy while she has her tiara on. And that could be whatever you have. If you have a fun hat or something, but it's a visual cue of I'm taking a moment to breathe during this time. And I thought that was so brilliant and just such a great way to take 15 minutes to relax, right? To do some deep breathing, to apply an essential oil, to take a sip of water, and just let them know that you'll be back to help them soon, but this is tiara time, and encourage them to maybe do some relaxation as well. So just because mommies need breaks too, right? And I thought that that was such a great tip. As far as the essential oils, it's really kind of magical how much that they can impact our central nervous system, because when we inhale something, it goes into the limbic system, into the brain that houses our memories, moods, and emotions. And this is why you can smell something and be triggered. And maybe you are reminded of your grandmother baking something, or maybe it's a memory that is unpleasant. And it's how we can actually turn down the volume of the central nervous system. It's a direct link in. The other thing that does that is music. So if you can combine the essential oils with music, that's really powerful. Maybe you can listen to some folk during the day, or some relaxation music, or 80s music for a dance break, or whatever that looks like for you. That is so powerful. So using those to help with sad or anxious feelings, using oils like Adaptive, we talked about, to help with overwhelm. Balance, people were talking about, can really help to anchor in and ground in. So, and any of the citrus oils are really uplifting during this time. So it sounds so simple, but it really can make a huge impact. And I love that Michelle talks about painting, right? The kids paint the oils on their legs, on their feet, that she's got her oils in her vest at all times to support you, and just carry that around and inhale it whenever you need to, because that's such a huge tip with supporting ourselves. It's having tools on hand, right? With that too, kind of checking in, like, when was the last time that I ate? Like, am I hungry? How am I feeling? If you're feeling really irritated, did I eat? Am I thirsty? Am I tired? Do I need to move my body? Am I getting any sleep? And especially if you're not doing good, if you're at 20% or whatever, and you're asking for help, and that's another one, please ask for help. When you need help, ask for help. Because I always tell people, it's like the Von Trapp family, right? That man did not take care of all of those kids by himself, right? They had a cook, they had a nanny, they had a cleaning lady, they had all the things, they had a chauffeur. And now with COVID, you're doing all of the things. So please ask for help, whether that's a spouse or a partner, whether that's, if you're not on complete lockdown, hiring a sweet high school girl down the street to help you do laundry, or whatever that looks like. Like, this is a time to ask for help. Your kids can help you with a lot of stuff, and these are life lessons too. And then also, when you ask for help, do not start criticizing people, okay? When you ask your husband for help and then he loads the dishwasher, and then you say, oh my gosh, that's not how the dishwasher should have been loaded. This is why I have to do everything by myself. Ooh, like, they're not going to help you anymore with that. So remember, done is better than perfect. Perfection is not obtainable anyways. We just want the things clean. It's okay, even if it's not the way that you did it. So pick and choose your battles, especially with some of those things. So we don't want to nitpick too much. Smell your Adaptive if it's not, the dishwasher's not loaded the way that you thought it would be, but just be grateful for the help with that. This is a time to let go of the extra stuff, to delegate things, or even maybe take stuff on your to-do list and just, because I'll be realistic with you, for most people's to-do list, you need to take about 30% off of your plate. And now your plate just got heavier because we put all these things on. So it's time to release and let go of those things. That's so important. And I wanted to share a little bit. We have a couple little slides that I was going to pop on here too, because I think it's so powerful. I always like to ask people, why are you here? Like, what are you focusing on in this moment? what are your top 3 health concerns for you, right? That we're working on here. That could be, I'll tell you mine. I always say I'll share mine if you share yours. So my top health concerns were sleep. I was really struggling with sleep. Digestive support. I would eat something and my tummy would hurt every single time after I would eat. And then I was having horrible head tension and just aches, discomfort, just not feeling good. So think about that for yourself. Like, what are your goals? And maybe they're family goals too. So I love that Michelle said being a mindful mama is being mindful of where you are and also mindful of where your kids are. Are your kids feeling really overwhelmed right now? Are they struggling with sleep? Like, what does that look like? Because that gives us ideas of where we can help and serve. And I think that is so important because it's good to be able to know what we're focusing on. So that way we can kind of move forward with that. And I thought this was really powerful. Like, we've shared some of our favorite testimonials, but I asked our community about mamas. I said, mamas, I want to hear from you. How are you using these oils in your daily life? Please share with us. And we got tons of responses on here. Everything from Melaleuca, my toddler's constantly getting scraped and scratches, and whenever it happens, she runs and she asks for the oils to make the sting go away. And lots of comments actually about adaptive. Adaptive has kept myself and my children sane. Lavender, lemon, and peppermint is keeping my son functioning as he's allergic to outside. So lots of things, from emotional support to cuts and scrapes to maybe even dealing with digestive issues, some of the digestion I can never, ever live without. All of these things are so powerful, from things from hormonal support to, I loved lavender for relaxation, bug bites or soothing, all of these things. So this is a tool, right? I don't believe that essential oils are a magic bullet. I don't think there is one, but it's a tool to support you with sleep, with stress, with overwhelm, with cuts and scrapes and boo-boos that happen, with maybe a little one not sleeping, or maybe you're having a hard time sleeping, or just immune support during this time. These are tools to help us really stay empowered during this interesting time that we're all in with that. So I thought that was really powerful. And if you're brand new to the world of essential oils and to doTERRA, welcome. And I was going to share a little bit about how to get started with the oils, because when we're talking about doTERRA, we're actually talking about a therapeutic medicinal oil. This is very, very different from the stuff that you get at the health food store. And I always preface it that way, like, please don't take what we teach and then go and buy that on Amazon and expect the same result, because you just don't. But with doTERRA, there's actually 3 ways to get started. So one is retail. Nobody here is going to purchase retail. Typically, we only purchase retail if it's at a professional setting like a spa or a chiropractor's office. It's the most expensive way to actually get started with your oils. Second way is wholesale. doTERRA, it's just like Sam's Club. And it's $35 with doTERRA. You get access to the wholesale prices. This basically means that you get to purchase at 25% off, a discount with that. I promise there's no scary things or strings attached. People get worried. Am I going to have to give you my firstborn child? No, it really is just like Sam's Club. We promise. Even though some people may be like, you could have my kids right now. But no, it really is just like Sam's Club. And then the third is actually below wholesale. So some things are kind of bundled together, that the price, that $35 fee, is free. So you automatically save that. You get a free membership, and then everything's cheaper than if you were to buy it at wholesale prices, which is kind of nice. And what you can expect from us, Michelle and I, we love to support and educate women. As you can see, we're very passionate about supporting mamas, helping mamas during this time. And we do welcome packets for our new people when they get started. We do a personal consultation for your specific health and wellness goals and walk you through exactly how to use the oils to support you, your kids, and your family, and add those into a health and wellness lifestyle, because that's really what this is all about. We do access to, we have a private VIP education Facebook group where we do tons of education and support and continuing education classes actually every week. We do that on Saturday mornings. We have fun giveaways, and there's something really powerful about being in a supportive community, a safe place that you can ask questions and get help. And that support is so huge with that. So if you don't have an account with doTERRA already, if you found out about this class through me, reach out to me. If you found out about it through Michelle, reach out to Michelle. You can text us. You can reach out. Let us know your top health and wellness concerns, and we can support you. We can help you customize something or find something specific for you, for your kids, for your family to help you with that. Michelle is an amazing, incredible wealth of information. You may want to make sure that you're following her over on Instagram at Eat, Pray, Oil Up. She has lots of great tips for mamas and how to use oils. And she also has a photography page on Instagram too. We'll let Michelle, you'll have to share all that stuff with us. Remind me too at the end, where we can like follow you for all of these amazing things, but reach out to us. We really do have a heart of service. We're very passionate about this and want to help you, because we can share tips and come together in these classes, but actually until you put them into action, you're not going to see your life change with that. It's actually implementing the things. So that's kind of where we come from. And we love to support people along their health and wellness journey with that. So there's a few ways to get started. And this is with that $35, that fee is free. So there's 2 kits actually this month. One's called the Protect and one is the Respond. And these are new. I don't know if they're going to be sticking around. This is just for this month as far as we know. But the Protect kit is going to be like protect your immune system during this time. So it's On Guard, which is like our toilet paper oil of doTERRA right now, to really support and give our immune system a boost. Plus tea tree. There were some testimonials about tea tree for scrapes and boo-boos. Purify, which just makes your house smell really clean. Like you could use it in your laundry, or if you have teenage boys, or put it in your shoe, or just if you want something that you can diffuse that smells really good without the harmful endocrine disruptors and chemicals and toxins. And then bergamot, which is a really beautiful citrus oil that is actually the oil of self-acceptance. So emotionally, it's a beautiful, beautiful oil for women, for mamas to use to support them during this time. And that's a 12-hour running diffuser. That's $125. I've never seen doTERRA do that before, which is kind of awesome. And then there's also a Respond kit. So I think of this one. Remember somebody said that their kid is allergic to spring? Like this is your kit if you're in that boat, or if you're really looking for emotional support. So lots of shout outs for Adaptive. This is the oil. I think it's ironic that it came out in September, and it's really to help us with stress, with overwhelm, with stressful environments, which is what's happening right now. Frankincense and copaiba and lavender, also amazing calming oils emotionally. And then we've got lavender, lemon, peppermint, and breathe, which are specific if you love springtime, but maybe springtime doesn't love you, if you've got the sniffles, if you're getting the itchy eyes or anything like that, this is a really great one too for $150. These are all big bottles, which is kind of nice. And then we have our kind of tried and true. This is Healthy Start. This is $160, and it's the top 10 bottles and the little top 10 oils in the little bottles with a diffuser, the Breve diffuser that runs for 10 hours. So this is your kind of mommy, I'm ready for anything. Whether there's a boo-boo, or we're having trouble sleeping, or having tummy trouble, or we need some respiratory support or immune support, this is like your, I'm ready for anything right now with this. And then we have the kit that Michelle talked about that her kids love so much. This is her favorite, the kids line. So this is $140, and it's actually these oils: Rescuer, which is great for pains, right? Discomfort, growing pains; Brave, which is really great for courage and confidence, emotional support; Steady, which helps with that anxiousness and relaxation; Tamer, which is good for little tummies, right? Aches and nausea; Thinker, this is great for focus and alertness. You could use this during homework time, homeschool time, anything like that. Calmer, really great for relaxation and rest and sleep. And then Stronger to support our immune systems during this time. So these are pre-diluted. They are safe for kids. Adults can use them too. Your whole family can use this. So that's a really nice, easy mama kit too. If you're like, okay, I just want something that we have on hand. And what's great is kids love the essential oils, and they get empowered, and they start to learn, and they start to just grab the oils and use them when they need them, which we want to teach our kids to be empowered and have those things on hand, which is so cool. So I'm in this program called Diamond Club, and which is really neat about that is Michelle and I can hook you up with free stuff because of that, which is really cool because we love to spoil our people. So if you get started with any of those kits, you'll actually get a Citrus Bliss oil for free. This is just for the month of May. So we have a couple more days left for that. If you want to piece together, maybe do a couple things, if it's a little bit more points, you can actually get Adaptive for free with that. So reach out to me or Michelle. We'd love to help and serve and help you kind of maximize that. But that's a fun little goodie, little freebie as part of being here in this community if you want to get started with us in May. And then Michelle and I love to teach. We love to educate. We're very passionate about helping other mamas, as you can see. And we teach on a lot of different topics. We really wanted to help the mamas. Our hearts were going out to everybody right now during this interesting situation that we're in. But we teach a lot about emotions and essential oils, kids and essential oils, pregnancy, birth, and babies. And I always tell people, if you've used the oils before, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't had an experience with the oils, you're going to have to take my word for it. But for me personally, it was horrible, horrible head tension. And I tried just about everything for that. And it blew my mind that I could roll something on my head and that experience was better. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to tell people about this. And so if you're listening to this, if you're kind of thinking like, okay, somebody needs to know about this, we would love to teach and sample them. If they don't have an account with doTERRA, we can pop some samples in the mail, give them an experience with the oils, and give you a little gift too, of like a keychain with some oils to have on too, because I really feel like sharing is caring and we're here to empower people. There's a lot of people on their hands and knees praying for natural solutions or things to help them during this time. And I would love to support people with that. So reach out to me or to Michelle. We would love to help you with that and help your people, right? Because that's what it's all about. I don't believe that we're put on this earth to suffer and have pain and that's it. I think we learn from these experiences and it's our job to help others through the process with that. So much of this is sharing is caring. That's our heart with all of this. And that being said, there's typically 3 types of people that come and join us with the classes. The first, they want to live a health and wellness lifestyle. These are people that really want to be empowered. They want to have natural tools on hand. They're excited to reduce the toxins in their home, to have some things to go to. And we provide lots of continued education and support for them. This is why doTERRA is not sold at the health food store or Whole Foods, because they really need to be person to person, heart to heart, and get a lot of education to know how to use these safely. There's the second type of person. They are people that naturally share what they love. And you're the type of person, if you're sitting here thinking, okay, my mom needs this, my sister needs this. And what can happen, what's so beautiful is that as you share, you can actually get your oils paid for. We call this natural health care. And there are thousands of people throughout doTERRA that are receiving natural health care for free. And then if you are one of these people that's looking at me or looking at Michelle and you're like, I want to do this. I want to teach and empower people about how to use essential oils, about how to live a health and wellness lifestyle. We would love for you to come. We'd love to help support you with all of that. As you share, you can actually earn an income. And it's been a huge blessing for me personally. Whoop, got a little trigger happy there. A huge blessing for me personally because I was a physical therapist, have a doctorate in physical therapy. And I think about now during this time, there's actually a hospital that I worked at that did elective surgeries, total knee and total hip surgeries. And they were shut down for months. Last I drove by a couple of days ago, they were still shut down. And so I would be one of those millions and millions of people on unemployment right now during this time. And honestly, I was a burned out, stressed out healthcare professional. And coming to the world of functional nutrition and healing my body from the inside out, looking at lifestyle, and the essential oils were just a piece of that came in and really made such an impact on me. And so I share because this has been the greatest blessing in my life for so many reasons. For physical support is why I came to the oils, but the emotional support has been my favorite way to use these oils, and financial support as well during this time. And as I shared, I was actually felt like I was able to help more and more people than what I was doing before. And I've been able to completely replace and surpass my income as a physical therapist. But more than that, I'm happier. I feel free. I am in control of my schedule. I'm in control of my time. And that is the biggest blessing that I can ever give, that I can take time for self-care. Now, many mamas are maybe looking for something to be able to work from home, and especially now with the unemployment rate at the way that it is, if this is just calling on your heart, and you'll know if I'm speaking to you, you'll feel it, you'll feel the tinglies. And if you do, reach out to me, reach out to Michelle. But I didn't understand the power of residual income. I didn't understand trading dollars per hour. And I also thought that I was doing the right thing. I went to school for 7 years to get my doctorate. I thought, now I'll be taken care of, right? Now I've got my 401k and retirement plan and all of this. But if anything, COVID has shown us that things change on a dime. and stuff happens. And so being able to have residual income is just the biggest blessing. But more than that, changing lives. And I'm here to shake up healthcare. And I also feel like this is an opportunity right now for all of us to rise up, to start taking care of our health, to start taking care of our wellness, right? And this is the opportunity. I believe that the immune system is divinely created. And if we give our body the right foundations and tools, we will live a wonderful, happy, healthy life. And doTERRA has been a blessing in so many ways. So if that's calling on your heart, if you're feeling your strings being pulled there, let us know, because we would love to support you on how to do that. And we have the tools to help you with that. So we are so glad that you're here. We want to be respectful of your time. We got about 5 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, any comments for me or Michelle, we'll open it up. If you're on Facebook, you can type those into the chat. If you're over on Zoom, you can unmute yourself or type them into the chat. But we hope you found great value from this class and took some things that can help you. And if you don't have an account with doTERRA, if you don't have an account with these oils and you're kind of like, what's going on with this? I'm kind of curious. Let us know, because we would love to help and support you with that too. It's quiet. I'm going to take a drink of water. Everybody drink your water. And go outside, get some sunshine right now. So important. Oh, something came in. Let's see. Oh, you're so welcome. Yay. You can definitely share the recording. So it is up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Dr. Laura Ricci. We are live streaming there right now. And the replay will be there. You can share, and we'll also upload it to YouTube so that it can have some tips to help some mamas. And I almost forgot too, but we have lots of classes coming up. We talked a little bit about the oils. We kind of sprinkled them in with things, but if you want to dive deep into the world of essential oils, about 3 different ways that you can use the essential oils, 3 cool things about essential oils, how we do that. We have lots and lots of classes coming up. These are open to everybody. The Zoom meeting ID and password, all the login stuff is right there, and I'll post it over on Facebook too. But if you're curious, if you want to dive deeper, let us know, and we'd love to have you come to a class and share with you too. Yay! Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad that you found it helpful, Heather and Jackie. That's so neat. I love that. It's a big doTERRA family, right? Michelle, anything that you want to add?
Just one really quick thing. I am on YouTube also. So if you want to follow me there, you can find me at Thriving, Not Just Surviving, Michelle Ray. So we can connect, and I have like a segment that's really specific for mommies there. And the overarching theme of that is helping folks learn how to thrive, not just survive. So financially, with their business ideas, with even doTERRA potentially, even with photography, if that's a creative interest of yours, and also in health, because I share some similar health journeys as Laura. And then I just wanted to echo what Laura said. I spent 8 years in higher education. Same thing. My last degree was a terminal degree, doctoral level degree, and I couldn't be happier than where I'm at, where I've landed. And also with COVID-19, we talked about unemployment, but we didn't really talk too much on even just how it impacted small business owners like my business. And I don't know if what I do with wedding photography will recover, if and when. And so I'm having to shift and to pivot, which I'm so glad that doTERRA is an option. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because this is an amazing company that I feel 100% ethically aligned with. And I know, love, and trust doTERRA. And we've been in the doTERRA family for like almost 5 years, I think. So just want to welcome you all in, and also say the community is a huge part of why I love where I've landed.
Oh, that's so, so amazing. Yeah, I feel the same way. You have to be connected with something, and there has to be a purpose, right? It's bigger than you. And that's what's really neat about doTERRA. We kind of go into that in the Back to Basics classes, but because of where the oils are sourced from, because of the purity, because of the co-impact sourcing, I was so honored to go to Africa and see that firsthand and meet the farmers and the artisans. So know that when you purchase doTERRA oils, you're not only getting a pure oil, and there's a big difference between pure and organic. I did a whole video on that to check out, but you're actually helping so many people. So, so huge. This was your mommy timeout. I love it. Michelle, where can people find you on Instagram and follow you along and follow on your journey?
Sure thing. Eat, Pray, Oil Up is Instagram. And then also I have Michelle Ray. It's Michelle_Ray_photography for the photography side of what I do. I actually focus on green weddings, green events, motherhood, green branding, working with folks like Laura, who I love everything holistic and green. So it's really like about aligning all the different passions and purpose. Where there's profit, it's all in this alignment right here. So super excited.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, thank you all for being here. We'll get the replay up on YouTube for you. It's over on Facebook. We so appreciate you coming and spending your evening with us. And if we can help and serve in any way, or if you have any other questions, let us know. But thanks for joining us, and take care, everybody. Bye.